The crocodile industry is enormously important to the Northern Territory. An aspect that probably goes a little bit unnoticed is the training of Aboriginal people on Aboriginal communities. I have with me Mick Byrne from the Darwin Crocodile Farm. Mick, how's it worked and how have you been able to make this a success?
Thanks, Wayne. Look, it's been a pretty interesting industry over the last few years. The Australian crocodile industry is very much in its infancy. We actually produce, our species of crocodile produces the best skin in the world, and yet we only supply under 3% of the world market. And obviously, as the crocodile industry is maturing, it's we need to be very consistent, very aware of what our clients want, of what the brands want. And the best way for this to happen is obviously to look at the industry in a really commercial sense. One of the really important aspects of this, obviously, is the primary resource. And the primary resource, being crocodiles, presents an enormous opportunity for regional employment. And that was where we spoke to the International College of Advanced Education, and we started to explore opportunities that might be able to come about so that we can increase the skill base out on the regional communities, ultimately with this looking at leading to employment opportunities. We managed to secure phase one of the course, and phase one was very much about all of the background stuff. It was all about the safety equipment, it was about all about the first aid, it was about animal welfare, it was about being able to properly and safely bait traps, set traps, harpoon animals. Part and parcel of the whole course, or one of the outcomes that the training providers very much wanted, was that they have some of the basic infrastructure to be able to continue on with this sort of a practice once the program was finished. So some of the good outcomes that have resulted in this was that there was 7 really good young lads out there that have now got the necessary skills to trap and sedate and relocate problem animals to basically harvest animals and transport those into these city areas into captive breeding programs.
So where to now, Mick?
Well, we're having successfully completed the first phase of the training. We're actually getting some accommodation relocated out to the farm. We're going to bring the boys up. They'll be staying out at the farm, which is about 40 km south of Darwin. This is all looking at taking place at the beginning of the dry season. With our 2 seasons, wet and dry, obviously access is very difficult out in the regional communities. So they're going to come up, they'll probably spend 4 weeks in Darwin, and at the completion of that, the boys will have all the necessary skills to trap, relocate, transport. They'll be fully briefed up on animal husbandry issues, animal safety issues, obviously the occupational health and safety of the people that are going and doing the work. It's pretty dangerous work working with large crocodiles. And look, they're really going to be able to step in on the employment front. And when I speak to the grandfathers and the likes out there, they actually have a bit of a wry smile when they see that some of their lads are now going to be able to tap into the commercial aspect of crocodile farming like they used to many years ago.
So there you go, a wonderful good news story. Terrific to see that there's Aboriginal training at Ramangini, and with the crocodile industry now an international industry operating out of Darwin, obviously there's huge benefits for all of us. This is Nick Robertson from the Darwin Crocodile Farm. Nick, you delivered the training for Icae at Mwangi. There must have been some real challenges for you guys.
Quite an adventure actually. Arafura being one of the largest swamps in the southern hemisphere, and with the local people was quite an experience.
Nick, it must have been fantastic for the guys at Mwangi, for their self-esteem, to know that they were involved with this industry as it progresses. Sometimes
really difficult, but sometimes really good to see the fellas, and especially some of the shyer trainees come out of their shell, so to speak, and then as they were getting the experience in catching the crocs. For example, one of the outstations got onto Peter Jigger and said, there's a large croc taking dogs around the community here. So I took it upon myself, well, this would be a good exercise for the course, the training course, so the boys could be seen to be helped doing within their own community. The last night, for example, I said, righto boys, you now got your wings, you can go out by yourselves. And that was at midnight, and they carried on till daylight. They come back with another 5 female crocodile, trussed correctly, all the ropes tied off properly, and I guess my chest did sort of swell a bit there. I was quite proud of them actually.
Now earlier in the year, the ABC travelled out to Mwangi. Let's have a look at that State Line story now.
The Arafura Swamp is the largest swamp in the Southern Hemisphere. 2 hours flight east of Darwin and 40 kilometres from the remote community of Ramingining, it's an oasis in central Arnhem Land. It's also a haven for saltwater crocodiles.
There's no way it's female, it's too big.
For the past 10 weeks, the region's waterways have been the training ground for these young Aboriginal men. And they will now provide a livelihood for the members of the 11 clans who own this land. It's the last day of class, and clearly it's not for the faint-hearted. The females will be sold for breeding in Darwin. The males are released. It's dangerous work, but the trainees have embraced it.
We might learn how to work for our children, you know, instead of just sitting down and do nothing. But we're going to get up and work and learn something.
Yeah. I get a sense of achievement myself, seeing these guys doing it themselves sort of makes me pretty happy actually, yeah. Once we got familiar with each other and handled a few crocs, obviously I sort of started them off and showed them how to the ropes and enthusiasm, everything's been really good.
Maybe 6 like that, eh?
Nick Robinson is a croc handling veteran with more than 20 years' experience in the territory. Most recently, he's been removing rogue crocs from Darwin Harbour. Now he's passing on his skills.
And the spotlight must always be where that crocodile's head is, straight on the eye, you know, when the bloke's
We've had a few fun and games on the way learning, but you know, safety is of the utmost essence.
I like this job with my uncle, and when my uncle gonna be passed away, I'll teach the young people.
On sunset, it's time to take to the water. The aim to capture as many female crocs as possible, and it's one last chance to get tips from the expert.
Go up there and shoot them down.
It's painstaking and exhausting work. The crocodiles are unpredictable, and one wrong move could be fatal.
Quickly. Oh.
Shit.
But with the new skills, these trainees are well equipped for the challenge. After harpooning, the crocodile is secured until it tires.
Very nicely, yeah. Got him. She's on. It's boy. It's male. Shit.
The males are marked and then released.
So we'll pick that up in the spotlight if we happen to come upon him again. Chances are he'd be pretty shy now.
Over the course of the night, 20 crocodiles are harpooned. Half escape and half are released. It's the first time in over 3 decades hunting crocodiles has been allowed. It was banned in the 1970s when the species almost became extinct. Now crocodiles can be hunted for sustainable use.
The pressure on the head seems to settle them down until you get that blindfold on.
The elders want to learn the new ways.
I guess hundreds of years there's been a source of food, crocodiles, so they know a lot about them and how to kill them. But the essence here in the commercial world is live crocs like these females we're trying to get. So they're selling them to the croc farms as a business.
At dawn, the team is still hard at work. They haven't even stopped for a break. The students see their work as the start of a new industry, which will benefit the community for decades to come.
Not a bad effort, boys. I think you've passed with flying colours, all of you.
Traditional elders approached the Territory Government for training so the Ramingining community could tap into the lucrative crocodile market.
So, George, you're really proud of these young men?
Young men, I'm pretty proud because our country, this Aboriginal country, will have to stand up and do something for our own community.
5 females trussed up and ready for a 5-hour road trip to Darwin receive their last farewell.
Get out of here.
See you, Croc. See you on the Darwin. Yeah.
Bound for the Darwin Croc Farm, these females are destined for a life of breeding.
Okay, guys.
See you, Nick.
The students may catch up with them if they choose to complete the next level of training in crocodile egg incubation.
And I really look forward to that, because working with you guys is a pleasure, eh? I really mean that, eh? Honest.
Already 2 students have signed up, guaranteeing them employment in Darwin.